Hello, students. Good morning. I am recording this video because we had some, or I had some issues with the connection. So here I am going to explain Unit 7. I will try to finish Unit 7 complete in this video. And I hope that you can understand everything. If you have any question, just let me know in the chat. Okay, just let me know in the group or sending me an email. This video is especially for Cecilia, who is in the afternoon, in my group from the evening, and Jessica's evening group also, because I know that we haven't had any meeting this week. So I am going to start then. I am going to share my presentation, and remember, if you have any question, just let me know by email or in the chat in the group, right? I hope that you can see my screen. As I always do, I present the days of the exam and the oral presentation. So we have an oral presentation. This oral presentation, I changed the day for this oral presentation because it's supposed to be on Friday, October 9th, but we didn't do that. So we are going to do this presentation on Tuesday. I mean, next Tuesday, Tuesday 20th. All right. The presentation is a news report. So you are going to, I'm talking to my two groups, okay, afternoon and evening. Jessica maybe is going to do something different, but my two groups, you have to prepare a news report. Okay, so you are going to do the same that you see in the television, on the television. So you are going to prepare a video presenting some news. Okay, you can send me the videos through WhatsApp or by Gmail, right? On Friday we have another oral presentation about diseases. So the same it's going to be a video. You are going to choose a disease, one or two or three diseases that you want to explain. The topics that I like the most are mental diseases. Okay, so if you prepare something like that, it would be better for me because they are more interesting, right? So prepare something like that in a video. That would be for Friday the 23rd. Okay, on Monday 26th. So we're going to have the composition from the third partial. October 27th, the oral and written exam. For the second partial, we didn't do oral exam, but for this partial, we are going to do oral exam. Later, I am going to explain you what you have to do for the oral exam, and it's going to be through a video too. Okay, so we are going to work with video again here in the oral exam, right? Okay, so here I am explaining Unit 7. The name of the Unit 7 is well-being, right? So what is the definition of that word, well-being? What is well-being? So if you Google that, you are going to find that that is a state of being comfortable, healthy, or happy. In this case, we are going to choose, or we are going to have only the state of being healthy because the unit is about health, right? So it's the state of being healthy. When we say state, we are referring to a long period. It's not just something from moment to moment. It's not something that is happening in the moment and then later you are going to be unhealthy. No, it's a period for a long time that you feel healthy. Okay. Okay. Okay, this is something that I am going to send this presentation also, the video and the presentation to you, because in this presentation you will see some information. For example, this information is about the picture, the first picture that you saw in the book. And also in this presentation, you will see activities that you have to complete. Okay, so I am going to send also the presentation and the video. In the presentation, you are going to read this information, something that you is important to you to read because it's in that way you can improve your vocabulary and your reading skills, right? So I am not going to read, but you have to read, okay, in the presentation. So the unit's goals are describe symptoms when you don't feel well, give, accept, and reject serious health advice, talk about modern health problems, describe health tips you've been given. How do you feel? This is the picture of the video. How do you feel? So here we have some questions. I am going to make these questions. And when you see the picture, this video, please, you are going to answer. If you have to pause the video, pause it and answer the questions. Okay. Obviously, I am not going to listen when you answer the question, but if this is for you to practice, okay? So if I make, for example, I do the first question. I make the first question. What are they doing? Try to answer. What do you see? What are they doing? Try to answer because um, helps that helps you to practice your conversation. Okay. So the first question, what are they doing? You are going to look at the picture and try to tell me what are they doing. How do you greet a friend? So you know greeting is you see a friend and you say, oh, hello, hi. How do you greet a friend? Do you shake hands? Do you kiss a friend? Do you hug your friend when you see him or her? What about someone you don't know so well? Imagine that you are meeting someone for the first time. How do you greet that person? You shake hands, you kiss that person. What do you do? And which is the most hygienic way to say hello? For example, here, now in this time that we have pandemic, we have the virus, what is the most hygienic way to say hello? Right. So do you shake hands? Is that hygienic in these days? Do you kiss a person? Do you hug a person? Is that hygienic? What do you do? How do you say hello to another person? Remember when I say hello, it's not hello like hello with your mouth, with your voice. I'm talking about greet. How do you greet a person, right? More questions that you have to answer when you see the video. Please answer these questions also. Do you have a healthy lifestyle or an unhealthy lifestyle? What do you do to stay healthy? Find out students' idea about avoiding illness, especially during extremely cold or extremely hot weather. What things you do to avoid coronavirus? How do you protect yourself from coronavirus? You are going to answer these questions to yourself, okay? Answer them because it's better this way to improve your conversation. Okay, so here we have the vocabulary. It says reading vocabulary because in the presentations in Zoom, I put students to read and then to tell me the vocabulary. So you are going to do the same. You are going to read this text and then you are going to practice the vocabulary. Obviously, I am going to tell you the meaning of the words, the definition, but if you want to search them or Google them, you can to be sure. Okay, so the first word we have is drowsy. What is that word? Drowsy. What is that word? Sorry. Drowsy is when you feel sleepy. But in this case, it's something negative because drowsy is when you took some medicine and that makes you feel drowsy, sleepy. Maybe you drank too much alcohol last night and now you are drowsy. You are in your job or maybe you are driving and you feel drowsy. So it's dangerous. If I say I want to go to my bed, I am sleepy, right? That is the normal way that we use sleepy. When you want to go to your bed, you want to sleep because you are very tired. But drowsy, as you see here in the text, it started to get drowsy. It's because they are in a very high place. They have maybe lack of oxygen, and that person feels drowsy because of that. It's a negative reaction of something, maybe a medicine, a drug, or an alcohol, a situation. right? So that is drowsy. When you want to sleep, it's late at night and you want to sleep, you don't say drowsy, you say sleepy. But drowsy is a negative reaction of something that happened. Making sense in this case, making sense is thought. The definition of making sense is um, imagine that you are talking with somebody and that person understands what you're saying. So what you're saying, it's making sense. In this case, they are talking about Ed. He wasn't making sense. That means maybe Ed, as he feels drowsy, he's speaking about or he's talking about things that the other person doesn't understand, or maybe they are in the mountain and the person is speaking about that he's at the office, or give me some coffee, or let's watch a movie. It's something that doesn't make sense because they are not in their house or they are not at the movies, right? Dizzy. Dizzy is when everything turns around. You are maybe imagine that you're drunk, you are drunk, right? Because you drank too much alcohol and everything is turning around. You feel bad, you want to vomit, maybe you want to throw everything out. So in that case we say dizzy. Okay, dizzy is when you feel that everything is turning around. You are maybe quiet or you are in on your bed and everything is moving, everything is turning around, so you are dizzy. Exhausted. Exhausted means that you are very tired, right? So you obviously you can say he was obviously very tired, but it's better when you say exhausted. Exhausted means that you are really tired. Maybe you work too much during the day and you are right now is night is you are is at night and you want to go to your bed because you want to rest. You are really exhausted. Also we can say that you are exhausted, mentally exhausted. Maybe you have many problems and you feel tired because of all of those problems. You can say I am mentally exhausted. Also, if you are watching TV during the whole day, you say, oh my gosh, I'm really exhausted. I'm exhausted because I have been watching TV all whole day, the whole day. Right. So exhausted is not, it doesn't mean that only because you are working a lot, because you are using your force. No, it's because also because you are doing something during a long time, during a long period, and now you feel exhausted because of you were doing that. Right. Okay. So the next word is shiver. Shiver. It says Ed's body was very cold. Then he started to shiver. Shiver is the shake. When your body shakes because you are very cold and your body is shaking. Ooh, because it's really cold. So that is shiver. Breathing. Breathing is what we normally do to to be alive, to survive, to exhale and to not to inhale and to exhale the air is when you this is breathing when you take air to your lungs and then you expel it out, right? And feel weak. In this case, they say felt because it's a past. To feel weak is because you don't have energy, too much energy. Maybe you are weak because you feel dizzy. You don't want to. You can walk anymore, right? When you feel weak, it's because you don't have energy to do something. Okay, so if you have any question about some of this work, remember you can take me through the group or by Gmail, okay? So the next page. Okay, here we have the difference between drowsy and sleepy. They basically mean the same thing, but drowsy usually refers to the effect of some drug. For example, a side effect of this drug is feeling drowsy. Side effect, when I say side effect, is efectos secundarios. Right, a side effect of this drug is feeling drowsy. whereas sleepy is just a normal feeling you have before bedtime. Right, you want to go, you were working whole day, you are really tired, you want to go to your bed, so you feel sleepy, you want to sleep. Okay. Some other words that we have here is this one. Remember that you have to do these activities also. When I send you the presentation, you have to do these activities. Okay. Chew is the action when you put the food in your mouth and you start yum, yum. This is chewing. That's something that you do with your teeth, right? You put the food in your mouth and you start chewing, and then you swallow the food. Swallow is when the food goes through your throat. Right? You're chewing something and then you swallow your food to go to your stomach, right? So chewing is yum yum, and swallow is oh, oh my gosh, I'm really terrible. So swallow is when the food goes through your throat to your stomach, right? Blink, blink is what we normally do with our eyes, right? When we open and close our eyes, that is blinking. That is the action we do with our eyes. Orbal is no, obviously that is something normal that is something natural from our body that we don't cause blinking to self. That is something natural that our body does. Breathe. I explain what is breathe. And cough is somebody told me this day that it's something that you cannot do in public these days because people will think that you have coronavirus. Coughing, right? Cough is like this the reaction that maybe you have something in your throat when you say that is coughing. It's difficult to explain with expressions. Okay, so you are going to complete this activity. Also remember, I am going to correct all these activities. So from my group, only maybe 1 or 2 people are working with these activities. Remember that you want to continue next year, so you have to prove that you really want to continue next year and send me all these activities, please. Another activity, in this case, you are going to separate the words. Which of these words are verb and which of these words are adjective? Okay, this vocabulary, you don't have this vocabulary in your book. It's only in my book. Okay, I'm here. Let me share this again. Okay, so these words, you don't have these words in your book. It's only in the teacher's book. Blood pressure. So blood pressure is the force of the blood, how the blood uh, circulates into your veins. So we have high pressure or low pressure. Blood test is when you go to the laboratory. Maybe you feel bad and the doctor says that you have to do a blood test to know what happened with you, or ladies do that to know if they're pregnant, or to know the type of blood that you have. So this, you go to the laboratory and do a blood test. Injection, shot, or vaccination. So injection, shot, or vaccination is something that you get when you are sick, or maybe something that you want to get vitamins or something. So you get an injection, you get a shot, you get a vaccination. It's the same. Okay, the 3 words means the same. Insurance card. The insurance card, they are talking about the card. Insurance is a company that covers of your, I don't know, necessities of health. For example, my insurance card is CIMAC. Many people have also aire humano, aire cepalic, SENASA, which is from the government. So insurance card is the plastic that you use when you go to the medic, when you go to the emergency room and you show the insurance card plus your ID to receive the attention. Physical condition. Physical condition means how you are, how is your condition, how is your body, right? We could say that we can say bad physical condition, and also we could say good physical condition. How is your body? Well, my body is my body, in fact, is in a bad physical condition because I don't do exercise and anything. Okay, physical exam. When you go to the medic, when you go to the doctor makes you a physical exam, right? He checks maybe your eyes, your legs. You say, oh, doctor, I have a pain in my leg. So he shake your leg. That is a physical exam. Prescription is a paper that the doctors give you with the name of the medicine that you have to buy. That is a prescription. Okay, so I am doing this a little bit faster because I don't want the video to be too long. But if you have any questions, remember my email or through WhatsApp. Okay, so this is the conversation. You are going to practice the conversation by yourself. If you want to practice with another person, um, you can do Zoom with your partners. It's not. I know that many people don't do Zoom with your partners. I don't know why, because Zoom it doesn't have to be only with your teacher. Imagine that I don't give any class today by Zoom, but you can say, well, the teacher is not going to give us class through Zoom by Zoom. Let's do something by Zoom. Let's practice this conversation. Let's practice the grammar uh, with with um, I mean, aim on us. It doesn't have to be with the teacher present. It's not mandatory, so you can do Zoom. You can uh, do Zoom, for example, to practice this conversation. You can do Zoom with your partner and practice the conversation, practice the grammar, practice speaking, listening, understanding. So it's not necessary with the teacher. Useful expressions. So here you have these useful expressions. So in this case, we are practicing giving serious advice, accepting advice, or refusing advice. So when you give a serious advice, you could say, in my opinion, imagine that you want a person to go to the medic. In my opinion, you should go to the medic because you look awful, right? I always advise people to go to the medic when they feel when they are dizzy. I think the best idea is to go to the medic. I think the best idea for you is to go to the medic. If I were you, I would go to the doctor. If I were you, I would, I'd take a pill for your headache, right? If you accept the advice, you can say, you're right. Thanks for the advice. That makes a lot of sense. That makes sense. I'll give it a try. I'll try it and get back to you. Refusing advice, I'm not sure that would work for me. That doesn't make sense to me. That doesn't really make sense to me. I could never do that. Okay, let's continue. So more activities that you have to complete. Remember, I am going to correct these activities. Describing symptoms. This is part of the grammar, describing symptoms. In this case, I'm giving you two ways to describe symptoms when you feel bad. The one is I have, right, with the verb have. In this case, when we use the verb have, we use a noun, right? So if I say I have a sore throat, she has a broken leg, I have the flu. So these, all of these are a noun, are nouns. So when I say I have, I should use a noun. Okay, I have a sore throat, I have a headache, I have the flu. And the other way is I feel. I feel sick, I feel hot, she feels sad, she feels dizzy. Okay, and when we use feel, we can replace feel also with the verb to be. I am sick, I am hot, she is sad, she is dizzy. Okay, she's not feeling well. Okay, so these are two ways that we can express how a person feels, describe symptoms. And this is the grammar. Here you have more explanation about the how to describe symptoms. Have plus noun. I have a stomach ache. I have an earache. I have a backache. I have a toothache. I have a cut. I have a sore throat. I have a fever. I have a temperature. When you say a fever or a temperature is the same. I have a cold. I have the flu. As you see here, in all of them, I am using the article a or n, but in this, I am using the flu. Okay, the flu. We have to say the flu. Also, we are using the possessive adjectives here. For example, in the first example, I have a headache and my throat hurts. I'm talking about me. My throat hurts. So we use possessive adjective plus noun plus hurt. Okay, possessive adjective plus a noun plus hurts. I can say my back hurts, my leg hurts, my eyes hurt. Okay, and then we have feel, be plus adjective. I feel dizzy or I am dizzy. I feel nauseous or I am nauseous. I feel drowsy or I am drowsy. I feel exhausted. I am exhausted. I feel faint or I am faint. I feel weak or I am weak. I feel sick. I am sick. And another thing that they have here is can stop plus the verb with ing. I can't stop coughing. I can't stop scratching. I can't stop sneezing. Okay, so I'm using can't stop plus ing to express something that I can't control. Okay, I have here more examples, but first we are going to see this first. First, we're going to see this first. Okay, first we are going to see this part. Sorry, esto es en vivo y yo no voy a borrar el video por ese solo error. It's the same thing as you see here. We have more examples. Okay, can't stop is when you can't control. When you can't stop doing something, you can control that. I can't stop coughing. I can't stop scratching. I can't stop sneezing. Something happened to me that I can't control. And the questions that we have here, how do you feel? Does your head hurt? Sorry, does your head hurt? What hurts? Where does it hurt? And yes, here I have more examples with I can stop. That's ing. I can't stop blowing my nose. I can't stop shivering. I can't stop coughing after running. I can't stop shaking. I can't stop urinating frequently. And remember, can stop plus ing can be used in other contexts as well. It's not only for healthy, uh, uh, for the health context. Could be in other contexts. I can stop laughing. I can stop singing. Well, I can stop singing that song because I love it. I can stop. Something that I can't stop is drinking Coca-Cola. I can't stop drinking Coca-Cola. I can't stop eating chocolate cake. Okay, so we can use it also in this context. And here you have more activities that you have to complete. Please, more activities that you have to complete. I am going to correct these activities. Communication. Where do people get health information? You are going to answer the question. As I said before, do these questions, practice these questions with your partner by Zoom. You don't need a teacher to do Zoom. You can do Zoom by yourselves. So you can do Zoom to practice. Okay, it's not necessary that a teacher said, oh, today we have Zoom. It's not necessary. It's not mandatory. You can do Zoom by yourself to practice. You can ask a friend to do Zoom to explain you something. Maybe you don't understand something from the grammar. Well, ask your partner to do Zoom for that person explain you better. Okay, do some to practice, not only with the teacher. Right. I was coughing. I'm sorry. I can't stop coughing. I don't have the coronavirus. I just had something in my throat. Okay, so let's continue. Where did you learn about healthy and unhealthy things? In a school, online, from newspaper or magazines, or TV? Where is the best place to get health information? Answer these questions, please. Okay, it's just for practicing. Vocabulary, can stop plus ing, where I can stop coughing, I can stop scratching, I can stop shivering. This is the same vocabulary, so I am not going to do something else about this vocabulary. Okay, this is the lesson B. I am going to do the vocabulary and the grammar only from the lesson B. So the first vocabulary in the lesson B that we have is choices and consequences. Okay, when you choose something, when you choose to do something, what is the consequence of that something? Again, you are going to read and then practice the vocabulary. Right, I am not going to read, I am going to do only the vocabulary. Okay, the first word that we have here, the first phrase, cutting class. Well, when you cut class is that you don't go to school. Maybe you have school every day, and tomorrow you decide that you don't go to the school, so you are going to cut class. In this case, they say, I'm thinking about cutting class, because before about, you have to use ing. So when you cut class, when you cut class, means that you miss class. You don't go to school, right? Calling in sick, or in sick. Calling in sick, as you have here. Call your word to say that you are ill. Maybe you are not ill, but you are going to call in sick because you want to miss. Okay, you want to do something else. That person says, so I can go to the concert. So that person is lying. I am going to call in sick because I want to go to the beach. So you go to your job and you say, oh, I can go tomorrow because I have to go to the hospital. I can go today because I feel really bad. So that is what it says. The definition is of calling sick. You call, you don't go to work. You miss um, that day. Sick days. Many companies have these sick days, which is okay. You have it here. Days you can take off from work when you are ill. Many companies give their workers maybe 2 or 3 days in the month um, to go to the hospital. I mean, they pay you those days because they give you these days. If you are sick, so you call to your job, to your boss, and tell him or her that you are sick and you don't go um, to work that day, but they pay you that day, okay, because they give you 2 or 3 days in the month in case that you have to go to the hospital in case that you feel sick. But not many companies, I mean, some companies do that, but not all the companies. Most of the time when you go to the hospital, you have to take a paper or a prescription to show to your boss that you were at the hospital, right? But some companies, they discount that day if you miss. Okay, sick of. When you are sick of, well, for example, we have that phrase here. When you are sick of is that you are tired of something. The person says, I'm sick of my parents bossing me around. That person is tired of their parents bossing her around. If I say, I'm sick of this situation, I'm sick of pandemic, that means that you are tired of this situation. You want something to change. Okay, to be sick of is that you are tired. You want to change something. Buzzing around. Buzzing around, as the word says, boss, that means that you, maybe you are not the boss in a company, but you all the time are giving orders to other people. Do this, do that, give me this, give me that. Okay, that is bossing around. To tell to other person, to another person, or to do something, to give commands to another person. That is bossing around. Boss, you know what is boss? Jefe. So when you boss around, is that you give a lot of orders to another person, even if you are not the boss of the company. Word sick. Word sick means that you are really worried about something. As he said, the person says, my mother said she was worried sick about me. You are really worried about what happened with the other person. You are so worried that you feel sick, you feel nervous, you want to vomit because you are really worried about something. Maybe something is going to happen. Maybe you're going to travel to United States. It's your first time in a plane, so you are worried sick because you haven't traveled before, and maybe you feel that, or you think that the plane is going to crash or whatever, so you are worried sick. You are so worried that you feel sick, right? Grounded is to punish. To punish, well, how can I say, well, when, for example, if I want to ground my children, I they like to watch TV. If I ground them, that means I tell them, you are grounded. You can't watch TV for 3 or for the weekend. You can go out, you can see your boyfriend because you are grounded. Okay, castigar. I don't know how to explain that. I'm really, in this moment, I am really drowsy because yesterday I was at the clinic and they put me a lot of medicine. So right now I am feeling drowsy. I don't know if you can notice my voice is not the same and my tongue is like a little weird, but it's okay. Take care. You already know what is take care, right? This one, your parents worry because they care about you. It's the same. It's almost the same as take care. They care about you. You are important for your parents. Okay, so they care about you. Well paid. You have a well paid job. Too sad that I am not. I don't have a well paid job. Well, a well paid job. Maybe you work in a company and they pay you, I don't know, 100,000 in a month. I could say that politicians have a well-paid job because they don't do anything and they receive a lot of money. Well, it's a well-paid job. So you might as well listen to your parents. It's like an advice. Tú podrías también listen to your parents, right? As well means también, right? Let me see if we have more vocabulary. Okay, we don't have more vocabulary. This is the breakout rooms because in the Zoom meeting, I want to do breakout rooms. So as this is not a Zoom meeting, it's a video, you can answer these questions. Do Zoom with your partners. Again, I am going to repeat that a lot because it's something that you can take advantage of that. Okay. This is the reading, which I am not going to read. And this is the grammar. Let me have a little break. Okay, so I am going to continue this part, commands and requests. You have to remember what is a command. Command is to give an order. Open your book, close your book, sit down, close the door, study. Um, could be in negative, don't speak Spanish in the class, don't eat at the classroom. Okay, that is a command. A request is when you ask a favor or you ask somebody to do something for you. Uh, can you lend me your pencil? Can I borrow your pencil? Okay, that can I open the door? Can you open the door? That is a request. And this is the grammar. The grammar is related to commands and requests. Reporter speech. So I don't know if you remember, I think that we did something like reported speech. I don't remember very well, but reporter speech is when you repeat what another person said. For example, the doctor said, get some rest. The reporter speech, I mean the quarter speech is when you say the exact words that the person mentioned. The doctor said, get some rest, right? That is the exact, you don't change anything. That is why we said quarter speech. The quotes are this, okay? In Spanish, when we want to repeat what another person said with the exact word, we say, cito, yo cito, él dijo tal cosas. It's entre comillas, we repeat what the person said specifically. We don't change anything from that. In reporter speech, we change. The doctor told me to get some rest. In this case, I am using me because I am repeating what the doctor told me. Okay. The doctor, he didn't say that to another person. He told me to get some rest. Uh, Quarter speech, the doctor said, don't smoke. Reporter speech, imagine in this case, he's not talking to me, he's talking maybe to my friend. The doctor told him not to smoke. As you see here in the quarter speech, we are using don't, but in the reporter speech, we are using not to. Okay, that is something that we have to change. We don't say the doctor told him don't smoke. We say the doctor told him not to smoke. Okay, when it's in negative, we say not to smoke, not to close the door, not to speak Spanish in the class. Right. And these are commands. Request, John said, please turn off your phone. Right. So in the quarter speech, we are repeating the words, the exact words that the person said. And John asked me to turn off my phone is the reporter speech. We are saying with a change what the other person says. Okay. For example, here we have another. Maria asked, can you help me? Okay, so we are repeating the exact words that Maria said in the reporter speech. Maria asked us, okay, in this case, Maria is talking with a group of people, me included, us, right? Maria asked us to help her. Let's see another part, the other part of the grammar. Okay, here I am going to read the rules from the grammar. It says, quarter speech uses person's exact words, as I said before. The doctor said, get some rest. The doctor says, don't smoke. Jane's mom said, be home at night. Okay, so those are the exact phrases that the person said. Reporter speech explains what someone else has said. The doctor told me to get some rest. The doctor told him not to smoke. Her mom told her to be home at night. A command is an order. As I said before, someone tells you what to do. To report a command, use tell. Okay, to report a command, as you see here, tell. Right. In this case, we are using past because obviously it's what somebody said in the past. Plus a noun or pronoun, right? Here, noun or pronoun. For example, I can change this one to a pronoun or a noun, sorry. The doctor told Michael not to smoke. Or this one, the doctor told my sister to be at midnight. Sorry, her mom told my sister to be home at midnight. Her mom told Jessica to be home at midnight, so I can change. It's not that you have to use a pronoun or an object pronoun necessarily. Okay, you can use a name too or a noun. If it's in negative, you have to use not plus to, as you see here. The doctor told him not to smoke. Here we are using the infinitive of the verb. Okay, infinitive of the verb. And for example, in this one, let me see which one we have here. Well, the only negative we have is this one. The doctor told him not to smoke. If someone makes a request, the person is asking you to do something. Could you please close the door? So I'm asking you to close the door. To report a request, use ask. Okay, as you see the examples, ask in past plus noun or pronoun. Again, I can change that. I can say, Maria asked Pedro and I to help her. Maria asked Juan and Maria to help her. Shen asked Jessica to text him later, or to text her later, because I use Jessica. Then we use not plus not infinitive to verb. Again, here we don't have anything. We don't have any with negative, but I could say Maria asked us not to help her. We could say that. Shane asked me not to text him later. We can use the negative also. Notice how some underlined words change in reporter speech. Okay, so for example, they change in this sentence. They change because we are using we are mentioning that the person asked us, her, right? That is why we changed that. Okay, so I think we finished. I think we finished with these two grammars. If you have any question, you can, or you can investigate more. You can use YouTube to investigate more um, about this reporter speech, quarter speech. Okay. Sorry. Again, if you have any question, you can ask me through WhatsApp, by Gmail. You have my Gmail already. Um, Jessica's group. You can ask Jessica about these grammars and everything. Maybe later we're going to do Zoom. Maybe, I don't know, it depends on the connection that I have. Or maybe today you are going to, Jessica's group is going to do their oral presentation. Remember that my group have to do the oral presentation. My two groups have to do the oral presentation on Tuesday. Okay, so see you later, guys.